the readings these days are very much apocalyptic in nature. We've been reading from the book of Revelation, and even the Gospels also speak the same language that we see in the book of Revelation, in the readings of these days. You already know that we are in the last week of this particular liturgical season. Then the next Sunday will be the first Sunday of Advent, and we begin a new liturgical year C. The readings, as I have already said, are very much apocalyptic in nature. John wrote at a time when the church was troubled, and he saw his vision and then wrote as he received the message. And by the way, when I was a kid, when I was much younger, after reading the book of the Revelation at night, I always had funny dreams, nightmares, because the imageries, the beast with 20 heads, and so all of those things haunted me or came back to me in my dreams, and I think I learned my lesson and I stopped reading the book of Revelation, especially at night. So this is the language that John uses. He employs languages that are very scary. But the important thing to note here is that John wrote to a people who were being persecuted. Biblical scholars make us understand that the book of Revelation may have been written during the time of the Emperor Nero or Domitian, either of the two. But there is the greater consensus is that it may have been written during the time of Domitian. These were terrible times for Christians. These were terrible times for believers. Persecution was all over the place. People were being slaughtered because they were believers. They believed in our Lord Jesus Christ. They professed their faith in our Lord Jesus Christ. And so, this was a suffering church. This was a persecuted people. This was a people that were seemingly hopeless. Now, John writes them and makes them understand that everything they are passing through is only transient or transitory. It's not going to be permanent or definitive. That the last message is that there is hope and that there will be joy for them in the end. In other words, the message of the book of Revelation is that all the troubles, all the persecutions, all the trials, all of these things will come to pass and you will smile at the end of the day. Recall what we responded during the responsorial psalm. Blessed are those who have been invited to the wedding feast of the Lamb. That is the climax of the book of Revelation. That after all these, we shall smile at the end of the day. My dear beloved brothers and sisters, I strongly believe that the book of Revelations we've been reading from has very direct connection to the present realities, to what is going on in our time. The church of today, just like the church of John's time, is a suffering church. The church during the time of John, as I've already underscored, was a suffering church, and he wrote to console them. Similarly, the church today is profoundly suffering. The church is suffering not primarily as a result of persecution from emperors or terrible guys out there, but more importantly, the church suffers today from what I might call self-inflicted wounds. But let us not say self-inflicted wounds. Rather, let us say from wounds inflicted on her from within. The church suffers as a result of wounds inflicted on her from within. When I say from within, I mean from those of us inside the church, and more still, those of us on the altar. And it is a very, very big injury and pain for the church of today. And not only does the church suffer as a result of pains or injuries inflicted from within, there is also the attacks from without. Because much as the church suffers as a result of the misdeeds of priests and some other members of the church, there is also the other reality which we have to acknowledge, that there are forces outside of the church that want to destroy the church at all costs. And that is the reason the church today is suffering, much just like the church of John's days. And so, the readings kind of give us that kind of assurance that let us be patient, that after these troubling times, that better days lie ahead. We need to pray that God might sustain our hope, might sustain our faith. We have to acknowledge it, that many people are losing their faith today because of the things going on, just as it happened in John's times. But John wrote to tell them, be patient, everything will be fine. We also need to take home this message today, that after the rains, the sun will certainly shine again.